Hi everyone and welcome to another video. I'm Alex from English Owls, and today we're going back to a series that seemed to be quite popular with all of you considering the current situation, and this is how to teach certain aspects, certain skills online. So the situation is changing in the UK a little bit, but we are still working from home, and this has obviously brought a lot of questions about certain skills and how they can be taught in a more interactive way in an online setting. So one of the skills that is quite difficult to teach in an interactive way, in an engaging way online, is reading. And it's something that students are reluctant to developing and to practicing even in face-to-face classes, and for some reason it is considered something that takes a lot of time, and it actually takes up valuable lesson time when they should actually be speaking. However, the reality is reading is really important because it allows the students that kind of mental exercise where they manage to see how much they can understand. So it's basically putting into practice how much vocabulary and grammar they have acquired so far, and it also allows them to infer meaning from context, which is, again, especially if they're doing exams and especially for real life, a very, very important sub-skill. So when we teach online, how can we make these lessons more interactive? This is a very important question, and this is something that we're going to explore in this video. So I have come up with 5 different ways in which you can help your students with reading skills online and doing that in a more interactive way. So the first one is to think about your warmer and to choose it in a way that it stimulates students' curiosity about a certain topic. So what we need to create, especially when it comes to reading, is the need to read. So it's obvious that students are not just going to be ready to read. So, okay guys, let me give you this text, read it and answer this question. We need to stimulate their curiosity. We need to engage them. They need to have a reason to read. So create that reason, create that need, even if it's a little bit artificial, in your warmer, in your lead-in. Do a discussion. A controversial topic can be discussed very briefly. You can maybe put a controversial statement on the board, and students are already curious to see why you're doing that. So try to engage them from the warmer, and this will set up the whole reading lesson, and it will create that need to read. It's very, very important. The second thing you should be considering and implementing in your reading lessons online is to make sure that the topics of your texts, of your readings, are relevant to your students. You need to find out what they are interested in. Is it current affairs? Is it social media? Is it hacks, tips and tricks? Is it something that you have no idea about, and it might be something that you are also curious to find out? Try to make it relevant for them. Choose topics that they would be interested in. Don't just use course books. Unfortunately, it's easy for us to do, but not very useful for our students. So make it relevant. That is my advice. Now, we're coming up to the third tip or suggestion, and it is related to the previous one, and that is when you choose your materials or your texts, think about authenticity. Make your materials authentic. You could even write them yourself. It could be a good idea to adapt things from, I don't know, online articles or blogs. It's always useful to use something authentic because students will find it much more relevant and directly related to their lives. So make those texts relevant and authentic. It requires a little bit of research. It's true, but there are lots of resources out there and lots of ways to adapt materials. So you're not alone in this. Lots of people have already done it before. So I'm going to put below some resources that you can have a look at. And remember, you're doing this for your students. They will be more likely to respond to a lesson where you do a lot of reading. Now, let's think a little bit out of the box. what kind of reading is interesting for your students. So obviously reading has to be done individually. However, what if you make it collaborative? Obviously they can spend a little bit of time working alone, but then they should be able to have this opportunity to work together, not just through peer checking, but also through some kind of, let's say, a game, or for example by using jigsaw reading. This is one of my favorite ways of teaching reading online. It's a little bit difficult to set up because you have to be very careful with your instructions, but if you prepare them in advance, if you script them and you rehearse a little bit if you're a bit unsure, then it will work. So try to include jigsaw reading as much as possible. It is not rocket science. You just have to kind of use your ability to give clear instructions and to check them appropriately, and your students will definitely respond to this type of task, and you'll make it a collaborative exercise rather than just an individual, slow, time-consuming activity. So this is almost the end of this video. I have for you the 5th way to make your reading lessons online more interactive, and that is getting students to create comprehension questions themselves. So rather than have the book again or working out what to ask them yourself using an authentic text, why don't you get students to work together and come up with good comprehension questions? Obviously it's easier to do with higher levels, but it can also be done at lower levels if you give them enough information when you prepare them for the task, and if you give them some relevant examples. So do not rule out this possibility. Students can create activities, and it can create that collaborative, that group work, that pair work atmosphere that we definitely need, especially online, where things can be a little bit more teacher-centered than we would like to. So I hope you enjoyed these 5 ways to make your reading lessons online more interactive. If you do have other ideas, please do not hesitate to comment below and let us know what worked for you in your online lessons. And also remember to like, share, comment. We really appreciate you being here, and also follow us on social media, on our growing Instagram account, and also on our Facebook page, where we always send reminders, and we have a lovely group as for teachers who want to get better at teaching online, and not only. And also we love our monthly webinars. All the recordings are available on the website for the previous 2 that we've already had, and we hope to see you in the next one. Hopefully you found my video useful, and let us know what you'd like to see from us next. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.